Toronto's only true dead mall can be found at Dundas and the East Mall, almost directly across the street from Cloverdale Mall, where the latter shopping centre has managed to carve out a lasting purpose in the shadow of the far busier Sherway Gardens. The former has fallen into virtual ruin after being closed down completely a few years ago. Prior to being fenced off, Hunterdale Mall spent its last years in a sort of zombie state, not fully alive, but not entirely dead either. The majority of the vendors had cleared out, leaving only a weekly flea market as the action in the sprawling retail space. Advertising during these years, Hunterdale served as a playground for photographers looking to capture its peculiar, end-of-the-world aesthetic rather than as a bona fide shopping destination. It wasn't always this way. While the mall was never the type of wildly popular destination as Yorkdale, back in the mid-1990s, the presence of WAL Mart, a major grocery store, and a host of independent retailers meant that it served a valuable community presence, even as the older Cloverdale was always more popular.
A dead mall, one also known as a ghost mall. Zombie mall or abandoned mall is a shopping mall that has low consumer traffic or is deteriorating in some manner, too. Many malls in North America are considered dead when they have no surviving anchor store or successor that could attract people to the mall. Without the pedestrian traffic that department stores previously generated, sales volumes decline for almost all stores, and rental revenues from those stores can no longer sustain the costly maintenance of the malls. 3-4. Changes in the retail climate. Main article, Retail Apocalypse. Structural changes in the department store industry have also made survival of these malls difficult. These changes have contributed to some areas or suburbs having insufficient traditional department stores to fill all the existing larger lease area anchor spaces. A few large national chains have replaced many local and regional chains, and some national chains are defunct.
In the U.S. and Canada, newer big box chains, also referred to as category killers, such as Walmart, Target Corporation, and Best Buy, normally prefer purpose-built freestanding buildings rather than using mall anchor spaces. 5. 21st century retailing trends favor open-air lifestyle centers, which resemble elements of power centers, big box stores, and strip malls, and most disruptively for storefronts online shopping over indoor malls. 6. The massive change led Newsweek to declare the indoor mall format obsolete in 2008. 7. The year 2007 marked the first time since the 1950s that no new malls were built in the United States. 5. Most Canadian malls still remain indoors after renovations due to the harsh winter climate throughout most of the country. However, the Don Mills Center was turned into an open-air shopping plaza. Attitudes about malls have also been changing. With changing priorities, people have less time to spend driving to and strolling through malls, and during the Great Recession, specialty stores offered what many shoppers saw as useless luxuries they could no longer afford. In this respect, big box stores and conventional strip malls have a time-saving advantage. 8. Between early 2013 and November 2017, the Bargate Centre in Southampton, England, was empty. The number of dead malls has increased significantly because the economic health of malls across the United States has been in decline, with high vacancy rates in many of these malls. 9. From 2006 to 2010, the percentage of malls that are considered to be dying by real estate experts have a vacancy rate of at least 40%, and healthy 20 to 40%, or in trouble 10 to 20%, all increased greatly, and these high vacancy rates only partially decreased from 2010 to 2014. 9. In 2014, nearly 3% of all malls in the United States were considered to be dying. 40% or higher vacancy rates, and nearly 1/5 of all malls had vacancy rates considered troubling. 10% or high. 9. Haikintori, the first shopping mall in Finland, started to decline in the late 2010s. Some real estate experts say the fundamental problem is a glut of malls in many parts of the country, creating a market that is extremely over-retailed. 9. Cowen Research reported that the number of malls in the U.S. grew more than twice as fast as the population between 1970 and 2015. Cowen also reported that shopping center gross leasable area in the U.S. is 40% more shopping space per capita than Canada and 5 times more than the UK. 10. Some malls have maintained profitability, particularly in areas with frequent inclement weather or otherwise weather and desirable for outdoor activities such as shopping in an open-air shopping. Lifestyle center citation needed where large populations of senior citizens who can partake in mall walking. 11. Combined with lower rents. These factors have led to companies like Simon Malls enjoying high profits and occupancy averages of 92%.
Some retailers have also begun to reevaluate the mall environment, a positive sign for the industry. 13. A retail apocalypse that started in the 2010s made the dead mall situation even more noticeable due to the complete closing of several retailers, as well as anchor tenants Macy's and JCPenney closing many locations and the sharp decline in the trend was particularly noticeable when Pittsburgh Mills, a mall once worth as much as $190 million, was sold at a foreclosure sale for $100, with the mall itself being purchased by lien holder Wells Fargo. 14-15.
Historic COVID-19 pandemic. See also impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on retail and retail apocalypse section. COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated many issues affecting malls. 16. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many malls closed temporarily due to stay-at-home orders. 17-18. A number of notable retailers filed for bankruptcy during the pandemic, including Asana Retail Group, Brooks Brothers, GNC, JCPenney, Lord & Taylor, and Neiman Marcus. North American malls that have permanently closed citing the pandemic as a precipitating factor include Northgate Mall in Durham, North Carolina, Cascade Mall in Burlington, Washington, and the Metro Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Redevelopmented malls are occasionally redeveloped. Leasing or management companies may change the architecture, layout, decor, or other component of a shopping center to attract more renters and draw more profits. Several dead malls have been significantly renovated into open-air shopping centers. 19. Redevelopment can involve a switch from retail usage to office or educational use for a building, such as is the case with Eastgate Metroplex in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 20. Park Central Mall in Phoenix, Eastmont Town Center in Oakland, California, Windsor Park Mall in San Antonio, now the global headquarters of Rackspace, Global Mall at the Crossings in Nashville, Tennessee, and the Coral Springs Mall in Florida. Allegheny Center Mall, a retail mall just north of downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, closed as a retail mall in the early 1990s. The mall was redeveloped into office space with much of the space taken by telecommunications carriers, data center operators, and internet service providers, and is now a major carrier hotel serving southwestern Pennsylvania. Another use for a former mall can be seen in Lexington, Kentucky, where Lexington Mall was partially demolished and converted into a satellite worship center for a local megachurch. Conversion from a shopping mall into an open-air, mixed-use area may entail the demolition of parts of or all of the former shopping mall. An example of this can be seen in Fairfax County, Virginia, where the old Springfield Mall was converted into Springfield Town Center, a mixed-use development that includes a 12-screen movie theater, shops, and restaurants with outdoor seating and entrances. When the structures are demolished completely, it is known as a grayfield site. In jurisdictions such as Vermont with a strict permitting process or in major urban areas where open fields are long gone, this grayfielding can be much easier and cheaper than building on a greenfield site. An example of this type of redevelopment is Prestonwood Town Center in Dallas and Voorhees Town Center in Voorhees Township, New Jersey. Also, in Boardman, Ohio, the Southern Park Mall demolished the former Sears building to construct DeBartolo Commons. 21. The Commons honors late Edward J. DeBartolo Sr.
Amazon, FedEx, DHL, UPS, and the United States Postal Service have already acquired the sites of some failed malls and converted them to fulfillment centers. 22. A proposal called Rehabit 23 uses portions of struggling malls, particularly vacated big box space, for homeless housing. 24. As an example of this concept, the vacant Macy's and the landmark Mall of Alexandria, Virginia, has been converted into a temporary homeless shelter. 25. For the Carpenters Shelter. 26. Some major healthcare systems, such as Vanderbilt Health and the University of Rochester Your Health, have converted several dying malls into new health malls or mall to medicine. The large spaces allow for the easy conversion of space-intensive activities such as ambulatory surgical centers, while the multiple storefronts facilitate one-stop shopping for all of health-related needs. Roughly half of 100 Oaks Mall in Nashville, TN is now dedicated to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. 27. Following the model, it is expanding to other dead or dying malls throughout its region. 28. While University of Rochester Medical Center is converting roughly one-third of the Marketplace Mall in Henrietta, NY. 29.